What's up, everybody? Welcome back to 2nd Street. King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime is an album released by Faith No More back in 1995, and in today's video, I'm going to tell you why almost 25 years later, this album stands the test of time, coming right up. Thank you all so much for tuning into the 2nd Street Marvel today. Now make sure you stay to the end where I will talk about a giveaway that I will be doing very soon. So make sure you're subscribed and stuff. Now, as I said, King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime is an album released by Faith No More back in 1995. This album features 14 phenomenal tracks that, if you ask me, really do stand the test of time, and they are still on my current playlist. I say this is arguably one of Faith No More's best albums because many would argue that the album that came before this, Angel Dust, may be that album. Faith No More is a band that is certainly ahead of their time, and this offering is a solid reason why I say that. But let's just go down the list of songs and I'll give you a little bit of insight to each one. As I said, it does feature 14 tracks, the first one being Get Out, a sarcastic look at the way our lives are going. We move on into Ricochet, which is really just a great song about how things always come around and go around. Then we move on to Evidence, which is just a nice, really smooth, relaxing song. It just kind of gets you in the mood to relax for the day, maybe by the swimming pool, just hang out and have a beer. I don't know. Then we move on to The Gentle Art of Making Enemies, and in case you can't tell, this song definitely has some great advice in it. After that, we go on to Star AD. Star AD is definitely kind of like a smooth, upbeat, kind of jazzy feel, something you would definitely want to listen to. All kinds of like crazy guitars and everything in it. It's one of my favorites on the album. After that, we got Cuckoo for Caca. In case you can't tell, is definitely a song that has a lot of profound messages in it, as well as, you know, I think we are all just a little bit cuckoo for caca. After that is Colo Vodor, which kind of sounds just like a song where you're just cruising down the freeway and you're probably like getting ready to go deal some drugs to, you know, some people down in Hollywood. But a little bit more of that is reflected later in this album. After that, we got Ugly in the Morning, which, you know, in case you can't tell, that's probably something we've all felt, and it is certainly apparent that Mike Patton has probably felt that way plenty of mornings, according to this song. It is one of the best songs on here where he's just, towards the end, he's just like flipping out and going crazy, and I'm sure we've all felt that way in the morning. Moving on, we got Digging the Grave, which is really just kind of, you know, about our everyday lives and how we're all maybe just kind of slowly digging that hole a little bit deeper, whether it's financially or in your personal lives. This song has got it covered. After that, we got Take This Bottle, which is just a really nice, smooth track, something that you could probably fall asleep to if you don't watch out. But don't, because you don't want to miss the rest of this album. After that is King for a Day. King for a Day is one of the ones where it seems like we're returning back to this Hollywood dream lifestyle of drugs and alcohol. It seems it has a really mesmerizing effect and just kind of keeps, the song is like almost 7 minutes long and it just kind of goes on and on. Not in a bad way at all. It takes you on this kind of almost like a psychedelic trip. It sounds like something that should be like a soundtrack for Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. It really has that just kind of that mood to it. After that, we got What a Day, and boy, what a day it is after listening to this album, and that is definitely expressed in this song. What a day when you can look it in the face and hold your vomit. After that is track number 13, The Last to Know. Now, The Last to Know is another one of my favorite songs. It's just like a really cool, just like smooth song. It just kind of flows and got just like this really cool like guitar riff that goes along. I mean, it's just like a smooth sailing song. And then of course that ends us up with track number 14, Just a Man. Just a Man is man, I don't know, it's what kind of how to describe the song. It sounds operatic. It sounds really big, and that's kind of how this whole album sounds. If you don't know who Mike Patton is a phenomenal vocalist. He has just he's done so many projects, it's ridiculous. You can get online and look him up. He's got a lot of projects that he does, but he has a phenomenal voice. Definitely one of the best vocalists of our modern times. And he can do everything from like just like a smooth like lullaby kind of songs to then just like crazy, chaotic, in your face screaming just like a madman. And that's what this dude is. Mike Patton is a vocal madman. And not only vocals, this dude does a lot of projects and he's done a lot of work. This dude is a legend in the music business. I guarantee you he is an underappreciated voice and person in the music industry. And if you haven't heard of him before, you definitely need to check him out, and you definitely need to check out Faith No More. Now, rounding out Faith No More, we've also got Trey Spruance, who is doing the guitars on this particular album. Before that, they had Jim Martin, and that's why I say this album is arguably one of their best. Many people would say that it's not. Many people would argue that it is possibly Angel Dust, which was the album right before this, that Jim Martin was playing guitars on that album. So that's really something that's a little bit more subjective, but you definitely cannot deny the influence that Jim Martin had on their music. Moving on, we've got Roddy Bodum on keyboards and Billy Gold on bass. Both of these guys do phenomenal work. You probably can't hear Roddy Bodum a whole lot throughout the album, but everything he does is there. Without him, this music wouldn't be what it is. Billy Gold on his bass, man, I'm telling you, he is probably definitely another one of the most underrated bassists out there. This dude has got the chops on his bass. Whether you listen to their music in their early career, going on to this album, and even into the future, this dude knows how to handle that bass. And then finally we got Mike Borden on drums. Many of you may have heard of Mike Borden if you're an Ozzy fan. He did go to tour with Ozzy for quite a while, and the band did this kind of disband for a little while, but they eventually reeled it all back in. Now, there's always been kind of a lot of chaos going on with this band. They don't always get along, and honestly, that comes through in their music, and it works out perfectly. But, you know, who's to say that you should be getting along anyway? I think it makes for really great music. Now, as I said, if you haven't heard of Faith No More or even heard this album, you have to give this thing a try. I have listened to this CD so many times in my life. I can sing this, every single song on here, to a T. I mean, to this day, word for word, I can still sing every single one. That is how great this album is. Almost 25 years later, this album is still on my regular playlist, and that is part of the reason you should be listening to Faith No More and King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime. That's all I have for this video today, folks. Thank you all for watching. Now, as I said, I will be doing a giveaway very soon. As soon as we hit 200 subscribers on this channel, I'm going to be giving away a digital copy of Warner Brothers Aquaman. So make sure you leave a comment down in the comments section on any of these videos going forward. And as I said, as soon as we hit 200 subscribers, I will be doing that giveaway. Thank you all so much for tuning into the Second Street Marvel today. If you haven't already, please make sure you're subscribed. Click the little bell so you get notifications anytime we have uploaded new content. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And while you're at it, make sure you share it with a friend and invite them to come hang out with us here on Second Street. Have a great day.